Hi everyone, welcome to my channel where I review the latest movies and documentaries. Today, I'm going to talk about visions. If you're interested in this topic, make sure to watch this video until the end, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. This story starts showing one named Lucky, who has just regained consciousness in the hospital. How did she reach here? He remembered that just some time ago he had a very bad accident. In this accident, two vehicles collided with the bus, and the other family suffered major losses. Heavy Lake was considering herself responsible for you. Similarly, during the operation, he starts having panic attacks. Here her husband Ak relaxes her. But tell this Wang, it was an accident, it was not your fault. Scene gated. The scene is shown after 1 year, where she has shifted to California with her husband, where her husband was now going to do business. To celebrate such a shift, these people also organize a party, where they meet an old lady. This lady also had a wind business in California. Here, it is called congratulations for a Blick's upcoming child. Some also give many blessings. All this was fine, but the good thing was that you were definitely pregnant. He had not told this to anyone, then how did he know about this woman? Now she goes inside the old daddy's bathroom to use the bathroom. After returning after a long time, when you go to check on her, you see that she is standing in the room of old lady Holly, as if someone has processed her. Her face was as if she had seen something scary, and she was standing there scared. Next, as soon as Solon touches Dad, he comes to his senses and starts scolding Emily that how did you touch me? After which she leaves old lady of Alex well. It was over. She goes to her husband's house and at night she sees that he is completely drenched in blood. The metal of her bed also hits her eye, and she wakes up unconscious. This was all just his bad dream. She relaxes herself with great difficulty, and when she goes to the doctor in the morning, she tells him about her condition, and the doctor asks her to join yoga classes, where she meets a girl. Like Amla, she was also 3 months pregnant. Both of them become good friends, and when Apini comes home, she sees the shadow of a man wearing bones from inside the bridge of her house. He looked ahead but there was no one there. The shadow had also disappeared in the water, and a dead body was visible inside the water. It had become a snake. She was still worried about everything that happened in the morning. She was still thinking about these things when she heard someone screaming outside the house. When he checks outside, he sees the same person with a shed. He had seen it in the water in the morning and was shouting from there. Hearing her scream, David comes to her. They say to David, please check the time, see he has come outside, but there was nothing outside. In fact, whatever he saw and heard were all family illusions. Due to the accident, it was a complaint of evil mental stress, because she felt that the accident had happened because of her, and that is why the doctor had given Evelyn some medicines for such a condition which she was not using properly. Now she meets her new friend Study again at the tax pay, and also tells her about her hallucinations. She tells him that this has been happening to her ever since she had a car accident. She says satisfied, I am very tired. These hello sensations will drive me crazy. I should take medicines, but they scare me from the stairs, otherwise don't take those medicines, they will harm your child. When brother comes back, suddenly some coins lying on the table stand up. Someone from behind also starts knocking loudly on the door. He is very scared of all these things and calls David. But David had forgotten his phone at home. He sees a revolver lying on the ground. She was frightened after seeing this. Before she can bend down on the ground and pick up the revolver, someone suddenly opens fire and breaks the wine bottles behind her. Avery the bar screams very loudly. By this time David had already dispersed. He tells Avli to relax and pretends that nothing happened here that he saw. He was still having hello sensations. His condition was so bad that he was taken to the doctor, and the doctor told him that all this was happening because he did not take his medicines on time. After all, she had taken her medicines on time, so nothing like this happens to her. I have asked the question, Doctor, can this cause harm to my child? In response the doctor says, I have welcomed you, be tension-free and take this medicine. It has no side effects. She is her friend in crime and had invited her husband for dinner. David wants to go out with Sadie's husband out to dinner, and she tells Sadie this while talking. Yesterday I had very dangerous intestinal infections, and that is why I went to the doctor. The doctor has asked me to take medicine again, but has also said that the medicine has no side effects. In response, the study says it is wrong. The doctor said the medications could be dangerous for your baby, and as much as I love you, I don't think you have any mental issues. So why do you have these hallucinations? I am very troubled by these, and then if I leave the medicine, they start increasing more. He says I think your house is under audit. They're haunted, and perhaps that is why you get such strange visions. Now right away again the next day. You hear someone screaming outside your house. When she went to check, there was no one there. Again he heard a sound as if someone had shot and killed the screaming girl. She continues to be afraid of herself because she was remembering the situation that her house has been bought, and to know the truth about this house, she goes to the agent through whom she had bought it. They say that we think that one is haunted, the other says no, it can't be because no such incident happened here, due to which it is haunted. But Avel was very scared here. So he invites the agent to meet the old owner of this well. After which Vovo told us that she was doing research about the old owner. When David comes to her, she tells David about all the things that happened today, and how she heard Abbas again today. She tells David that I think all this is happening because of pregnancy, and when David says that it is not happening because of pregnancy. This is happening because you are not taking your medicine on time. When both of them are coming poor, at this time Oblik again appears to be a dependent person. She gets scared by this and comes out, pushing David away from her. She was just thinking about here. Suddenly she looks back and sees a dummy coming to kill her. To escape, he leans towards the profession and falls out of the house after hitting the glass window. Hearing these blessings, David comes to her and tries to relax her. The tablet tells that the dummy in front was appearing to me, but now the dummy was at the place itself. That means these were also his hello sensations. Now David tells him that he will go to get his medicines. Now even he was feeling more disturbed. That's why she takes medicines as soon as she wakes up in the morning, and because of taking the medicines, she was feeling much better within a few days. One day she meets Sadie again in a coffee shop. These two were talking, do you ride and go out where her husband is with some girl. He felt that Debit was cheating him. They immediately come home and after checking David's belongings in the house, he finds a file related to Song Jadu. After that some letters arrive at his home. Many names of books related to black magic and methods of black magic were written in this letter. Now David started suspecting that perhaps everything that was happening because of Debit. David is doing something that he is hiding. Hablik was now starting to feel even more like a dad. She calls the owner of this well. They ask him about this game, and anyway, does Honor ask him to help him from Helena and that other lady whom we also saw in the beginning of the movie. While she was still talking, she saw something behind the window. She sits in front. Some strange braking force had pushed her down too. Tully had confirmed that there was an audit, that is why she called Helena to her house. Helena had now come to his house. What does she do in his house? When they go near Bull while checking the house, they both see destruction in the pool. When he comes inside the house, Kalinat tells him that at this time there is definitely some capable power, who has some devilish power. Somehow, what he said to the tablet also seemed alright. When she wants to take the fine for Helena in the kitchen, suddenly she hears someone screaming. She comes out of kitchen and sees blood-stained handprints on the wall. Then she comes and suddenly sees something strange. Some force turns a chair in front of her, and when she looks ahead, Helena is lying on the ground in a bad condition. He was having a heart attack. It rains, it settles before it rises. Base said a very nice thing to Oblik that there is nothing here that you are thinking, it is all you. Oblik was left wondering what he meant by what he said, after which we see that now Hyunbek is asking David about the magic books. Regarding these books, David says, books were given to me by my colleague, so that I could remove the evil power from this house. If David knew about some evil power here, then why didn't he tell Evely earlier? Oblik now gets angry at the same leader for his words and leaves from here. We go to meet the owner of this house. She wanted to know the truth about this house and the wine yard from him. On this, the man tells that that house was occupied by some powerful people who had processed my grandma. To escape from these able powers, Guide Mark sets the house on fire along with himself, i.e. he commits suicide, or the man also shows him some sketches made by his grandmother, and one of these sketches was of David, in which she was very scared after seeing the things. She comes running home. She had decided that she would leave this house right then and there, but on coming home she saw that many guests had come to her house. There was a doctor and a green actress in it, whom David called the Svervolok. Suddenly he hears the same situation that he always used to hear. When she went to the kitchen and checked, her friend was making coffee there. When she comes out after getting dressed, she sees Psycha actress arranging the coins lying on Abel in exactly the same manner. As soon as he came to VMS, you started to understand what was happening to him, as Helena had told him. There's a lot in everything that is happening. So this meant that Amla got the win for herself first. Whatever was going to happen to him in the future, he could already see it. Suddenly there's at the door. David opens the door, but evilly sees that in front of him is the same bony person who used to scare her time and again, and it is none other than her friend said. She comes inside wearing the sari with her husband. He had the same revolver in his hand which you saw pointing at the ground. When he tries to run away from here, Siddy's husband shoots him from behind. Instead of hanging Jugolia Sitch, the line hits the bottles and the bottles break, and then Aquali's size also gets sucked, and he also puts a wall on the wall, by telling his blood and face. This was also the same thing that Evil Live had seen. A scuffle then ensues. The Weite was trying to take the gun from the van, and in the process the doctor gets shot. Whatever Avalik's friends try to share from here, the souled husband goes after her. From here too, she herself was ready to attack herself. By giving her the visual, David remembers to save her. But Sini stabs David in his stomach and kills him. Aveli has lifted the same statue to escape before he kills her. While picking her up in her production, she was going backwards, and suddenly she breaks the window and falls out. Every single thing that was happening at this time, he had already seen in himself. Even in this scene, Barry Reddy's husband shoots and kills Aveli's friend. Affleck realizes that the gunshots and screams she heard were her friends, and runs out of a house to save herself, and finds a friend with a debit card who helps her. Was wide. Before she could explain the situation to him, Siddy's husband shoots her from behind and decapitates her. The dead body she always saw in the pond was that of David's friend. Since then Dee's husband has been putting tape on her mouth and dragging her inside the house. Avali drags the chairs here and there to protect themselves, and we are also hit in the first country. They take both of them and tie it with their beds. YCDSS used to know that there was an accident in the start of the movie. She was pregnant from that time, and had defended her due to Evalik. But now she wanted to complete her change by killing the child of Abel. She picks up a knife and starts cutting the stomach of the case. The dazzling blood spreads. This was the scene that was first seen by this house. Evil starts feeding her hands loudly to save her child. His hands were tied with a metal. Sitting the metal breaks on saying this. Taking advantage of the rest, the Abel used to say an attack above this meal, and in a second, CD dies. Seeing this, his handband gets very angry, and he now tries to mature and he would kill before it. David, injured from behind, comes and calls him to shoot from his gun. After all this, David finally understood that his wife had no mental issue. There was really such a strength here that showed him the bad things that happened in the coming times. That is why they leave the house and leave the house, and it is shown in the movie class that the agent's house is showing such a couple. Half of these coins are standing in this house, which means that it was going to happen to this couple. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this movie and what other movies or documentaries you want me to review next. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching and see you next time.